everybody. How are we this morning? You like it, LK? Thank you very much. I created that about 4 years ago. Unfortunately, today we don't have Lumi. Lumi is down. I'm just going to let you guys know. So we're not going to have our multi-chat system up. Lumia is down. So I do apologize for that. Hello, Ben. Hi, Carlos. Hi, Steven. Hi, Aaron. It's awesome, Steven, that you watch Near Dark for the first time. It's a great movie. I've seen it a million times. I've also watched the documentary. Stefan Jameer, LK Horror Nerd, Darkbreaker Monkey. How are we doing this morning, guys? How is everybody? Deadwalk. Yeah, Lumia is down. All right. I did put a thing in for them. They are down. So we won't have multi-chat today. So I do apologize that you won't be able to see each other's chat. Yeah. No, I'm on Twitch. Yeah, LK can see me, Monkey can see me. Yeah, we're on both. We put this shit on everything. Hell, I think I'm even on Twitter at this point in time. Oh, I don't think it's going to allow me to do because of the stream key. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much, LK. I appreciate the condolences. Point in time. Oh, I don't think it's going to allow me to do. Jimmy, thank you for your 25-month resub. I don't have all my bells and whistles going off because it's CCOH. Hi, Don. How are you? Yeah, everything seems to be working good. I was busy and I haven't seen your streams in a while, but I hope you're good. Excited to see what you're talking about today. Thank you very much, LK. We are discussing Near Dark from 1987. And Near Dark is a great film. So we're going to be discussing that. Dahi, good morning. Oh my goodness, Petroball. How are you, Petroball? Thank you for your 38 months. My God, look at you and Jimmy coming in here, back-to-back subs. Thank you so very much for that. I do greatly appreciate it. Mwah, Jimmy. Mwah. Petro, how are you? Mischief Maker, how are you? Finally got Shadow to fall asleep. Oh my goodness gracious, I bet. Is he high energy? Is like he a high energy puppy? And we're being raided by mommy. Holy shitballs. We got so much stuff going on this morning. One, we're being raided by mommy. Thank you, a sexy kitten, for the raid. Monkey Van Meowerton, thank you for becoming a member of the Leviathan group here on YouTube. I'm thinking I'm going to change my names, make them all just one. However, but thank you, Monkey, very much for becoming a sponsor over on YouTube. Hello, Erythric Soul. Hi, Mischief. You're having a bad leg day? That sucks. We'll get you some juju. I don't make it often, but hello, Jimmy. I'm happy that you make it here when you make it here. So thank you so very much for your support. You don't have to be here every day for me to know that you support me. And I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate you. Raiders, welcome in. Yeah, lots of puppy power. Oh my God, Dahi. I'm going to live vicariously through you and your pictures of Shadow, you and Klepto. Hello, Shellies. How are you? Oh my goodness, sexy mommy, how are you? How was your stream? And for those of you coming in here for the very first time, I am ReAnimateHer. I am a horror content creator who specializes in deep diving into our favorite scary movies every Sunday right here on Twitch and YouTube, called Coffee Chat of Horrors. So if you like horror movies and you like horror games, I got you on both sides, because Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I play horror games, and on Sundays, we deep dive into our favorite scary movies. You're on YouTube? Nice. Hello, Ra. Good morning. Was planning to do a 24-hour, but I got to do some errands. I'll resume later tonight. More power to you with that 24-hour shit. I couldn't do that. Oh, but at least he likes the snuggle. Oh my God. I miss that. I miss the snuggles. I definitely do. I'm glad Shadow snuggles. I hope Shadow stays snuggly as well. Currently cuddling Ginger. Oh, that's so sweet. Hey, Chloe, how are you? You've got some great news. Share your great news, Chloe. Hey, Reaper, how are you? Speaking of horror movies, I watched a remake of Poltergeist. What did you think of it, Mischief Maker? I was thinking the other day, long ago, at least 5 years or more, we had a private chat during a Cranky stream about how discouraged you are. I told you to keep going, find your niche, and just wait. And now look at you. If I'm not here in body, I'm here in spirit. I remember that conversation, Jimmy, and I remember the conversation that I had with Cranky Canuck that helped me create who I am today as a content creator. So I remember my conversations about important stuff, even though I can't remember to turn off the goddamn stove. But I can remember that. And it was a long time ago because Cranky passed in 2018. Just chilling to your podcast while getting things done. Nice, an exciting time. Glad to meet your community on Discord because I found my perfect dream video editor. Awesome. That's good to hear, LK. Mama Ducky Hugs is pregnant with her third child. Oh my God. Tell Mama Ducky I said congratulations. That's amazing. You're going to be a grandma 3 times over, Chloe. Oh my goodness. Wendy, hello. Hi, how are you? Are we being rated again? The Gothic Storyteller. Holy shitballs. Back to back. We're getting back-to-back raids. We got to do some shout-outs here as well. Oh, my goodness. Gothic Story, thank you so much. I do apologize, guys. Multi-chat is not on. Lumia is down, so I'm not having any sounds or anything for raids. I don't know what happened to Lumia, so I do apologize. You will not be able to see what Twitch is saying, and you won't see what YouTube is saying back and forth. Yes, Near Dark Gothic, and welcome. Can I get a shout out? Thank you very much, Mischief Maker. For those of you that don't know, Gothic Storyteller is a content creator here on Twitch. Same thing with Sexy Mommy Kitten. Sexy Kitten Mommy. Her name was Mommy, Angie Mommy. Make sure you guys go give them a follow. Click on their links in the chat. Check them out. If you're vibing what they're putting down, make sure to give them a follow. And not just follow, but go back in there when they're live. Because it feels really good when someone who does follow from a raid actually comes back in. Trust me, I know. It's happened to me. It feels great. James, I don't know. Good morning. How are you? How was work? Gotta wait 30 seconds, Mischief Maker. You could watch both like me and miss half the chat. You could. Hi, Aaron. Happy Cinco de Mayo, who celebrates Cinco de Mayo. There's Monsters on Netflix at May 16th. Nice, Ed. Nice. Yeah, we're all a bunch of wild and fun horror content creators, and you're welcome. Yeah, definitely we are. She's due in January or February. God damn. Tell her congratulations. Tell her I miss her. I miss speaking with her. I miss seeing her in chat, but tell her that I hope that she's doing good. Halfway Hans, good morning. How are you? How are we doing today, everybody? Welcome in. We got back-to-back raids, Sexy Kitten Mommy and the Gothic Storyteller over on Twitch. We've got Zach O'Green with a 43-month resub. Holy shitball, Zach. Mwah, thank you so very much for that. Hi, Kirby. How are you? Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's having a fabulous Sunday. I hope your weekend has been great as well. I am having my first cup of coffee in like 2 weeks. Believe it or not, I haven't had coffee because I've been drinking this stuff called Yerba Mate. I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but it's damn good. You can only drink it for 12 weeks, though. I'm good. I think I'm fighting a sickness, but I will be lurking. I love Near Dark. I read the script and seen the movie. Did you see the documentary? Now, you can only see the documentary in if you have the 2002 Blu-ray Living in Darkness. If not, I can tell you where you can watch that. There is on the making of it. It's a very short documentary. It's one I watched to get ready for this Coffee Chat of Horrors. Enjoy your Sunday this morning. You'll be lurking. No worries, guys. If you just rated me, please don't worry about staying. I understand how it is as a creator. We sit down, we entertain, we get tired, we want to stretch, we want to eat, we got to go pee, whatever it may go, whatever you have to do, go do it. Thank you very much for your raid and bringing your community here. Hello, Kratos. How are you? She wants a boy this time. Oh, fingers crossed she gets a boy. Fingers crossed. Hello, Macabre. Hello, Moon over Miami. Thank you guys. Definitely what Deadwalk is saying. Hello to all the souls shambling in for this week's deep dive into Near Dark. Enjoy it. Kratos, how are you doing? Today is going better at work than yesterday. I didn't start out the day today with someone asking me to come outside with them. Well, that's good. She switched the souls of the innocent, but ran out. I had to switch back to coffee. Well, I'm chatting on Coffee Chat of Horrors, and I figured I got to have a delicious cup of coffee. Can't be doing that without it. Hello, Custos. You're not. We just got started, my friend. No worries, Chloe. No worries. Yes. So let's see how. I hope that's all working all well there. We are trying. We are live on Twitter, but there is no chat on Twitter. So hopefully, if people want to chat, they can come into here. That's a cup of souls. It's the only way I run Mischief Maker is on souls. Definitely. I'm okay. Place is semi-panic clean, which is nice. Bring back movie rental day. Always makes me sun gaze better. Yeah, and Pride Month is coming. June. That's coming. And why were you panic cleaning? If you tried I'm on Twitter. I've tried it a few times before. There's no chat over there, so I really don't know what to expect. But yeah, what's a soul? I already have your soul, James. I already got it. I already have it. That I do. Evil Dead, the game got a major update. Yeah, it needs some content, and it's too bad Saber Interactive isn't no longer doing any content for it. Petrable, how have you been? Yeah, we're gonna get started here really quick. Well, very soon with CCOH. I'll be in debt forever with Monkey. We had a horror movie sleepover planned for last night. Person decided not to sleep over at the end, which is totally fine. Very cool. Horror sleepovers are always great. I love ours. I love when we have our horror movie sleepovers. Yes, you're never too old to have a sleepover. It's exactly right. You can have your friends over, watch horror movies, eat junk food, and have a goddamn sleepover. Yes, you can. Yeah, you're an adult. But does that fucking matter? I have sleepovers all the time with Kratos. We have good time. I wish I can have bigger sleepovers, but most adults don't like to sleep over people's houses. Good times having horror movie night sleepovers. Well, definitely, especially when you live far away from each other. So I live in Alberta, and I live where the serial killer lives, Monkey Van Meowerton, She Kratos, Spaceman Cat, where a lot of us live. However, it's not just a mile down the road, right? We're talking 1.5 hours, depending on how you drive, how the weather is. Could be up to 1 hour and 45 to go visit Monkey and Kratos or a serial killer. So it's very nice when you can have people come over, have supper, have a slumber party, watch horror movies, and go to bed about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning like we usually do. You haven't been bad. I haven't watched a horror movie in almost a week. You've been bad. Oh my God. How do you not watch a horror movie at least once a day? Are we going to have a mini horror sleepover after the? Yeah. I don't think the circus is going to go that late, but then we can have a mini one. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff we can do. Pringles, pizza, and pop. Exactly, Aaron. Exactly. Damn, I barely hit the enter button to post that message and my PC rebooted. Oh, Custos, that sucks. That definitely sucks. Don't worry until I get my own place again. They will be sleepovers. Well, there we go. Good morning, Mystic the Dream. How are you? Happy Sunday. Oh, this coffee tastes really good. All right. Preparing the oven to turn on. Oh, it's really hot by you, isn't it, Petro? Because I know Foss lives in Arizona, and he was saying the other day it was like 90 degrees or some crazy shit like that. And I'm just like, what? Yeah, it's we're not here. It's only 7 degrees Celsius. It's cold. It's rainy. It's not nice here at all. Yesterday was our only nice day, actually. And by nice day, I mean hit like plus 12. I can't wait to see more of Killer Clowns on Tuesday. Right on, Mystic. Work has been crazy. I haven't watched anything lately except for yesterday when I watched the original Star Wars trilogy on VHS. Right on. Right on. I have that on VHS as well. You love sleepover snacks and not having to use energy to leave plans until the morning. Exactly. Exactly. Just cozy murder. Mm-hmm. I agree. Let me see if this will let me. Nope, it's saying it's got a second. It's got to have a second key. So that's not good. But anyways, stupid thing. Doesn't like to work. We are going to get ready, guys. We're going to go into Coffee Chat of Horrors, and we're going to deep dive into Near Dark. If you want to watch Near Dark in the United States, you can check it out on Netflix. Not Netflix, sorry, Tubi.tv. So it was on Tubi, Near Dark. And if you're in Canada, it's on Amazon Prime. I believe you have to rent it there on Amazon Prime, but you can also use a site called Up Movies, where you can check out Near Dark. Near Dark is a very underrated vampire film. Think Western romance meets vampires. It's fucking great. Hello, Vengeance. Hi, Roth. It definitely finger licking good. I love Bill Paxton. And that is one of his lines that he says in the movie. It's really, really good movie, guys. It's on Tubi. It is. If you are in the U.S., it is on Tubi.tv. To me, Catherine Bigelow's most underrated flick. I have to agree with you, Gothic Storyteller. It really is. It's insane how so many people haven't seen this movie. And it came out in 1987. I have been waiting to know what the fuck the blood... We're going to talk about that. We're going to explain that as we deep dive into CCOH. I'm so old. I saw that in theaters with my older brother. Scared the shit out of me when I was 6. That's great, Aaron. It's a good movie to see in the movie theater. You know, Lost Boys was literally released 2 months right before Near Dark. And Lost Boys brought in the very first family dynamic vampire film. I bought new JBL earbuds, best earbuds I've used in a long time. Sweet. I will let you guys know one more time that multi-chat is not on. Lumia is down for some reason, so there is no multi-chat. So I do apologize. You won't see YouTube and Twitch back and forth kind of deal, right? All right, let's get into some shit, guys.
Scary movies and coffee.
The following show is based on research on horror movies and what goes on behind the scenes of your favorite scary movies. HORDE Entertainment or ReAnimateHer is not responsible for the macabre and horror that you are about to witness. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good morning, Daywalkers. It is I, your Queen of Scream, ReAnimateHer, and this is Coffee Chat of Horrors, the only horror show that takes its coffee like it's magic, and that is black. Today's screams are coming to you from Catherine Bigelow and Eric Red. It is Near Dark. So hopefully you guys are going to buckle up as we traverse through the realm that nightmares are made of. Now, Near Dark was released in 1987. And to immerse myself into the world of Near Dark and get all this information for you, I have watched the movie Near Dark as well as the documentary called Living in Darkness, which is only available on the Blu-ray from 2002. It's a very short, about 44-minute long Blu-ray exclusive little documentary. Bill Paxton is in it. Adrian is in it. Basically, everybody in the cast was in it. And they talked about behind the scenes and working together. And it was really cool to see Bill Paxton because we know he passed away not that long ago. Actually, quite a bit ago now. Which sucks because he was a great actor. Not lying, the movie that comes to mind more than anyone when I remember Bill Paxton is the one instead of Alien. Aliens or Predator 2. Yeah, he's been in so many movies, Bill Paxton, a ton of friggin' movies. I love him as an actor. He is great. He is really great. we're gonna go and gonna give you guys the plot. The Bill Paxton Shelley. Yes. I'll be back. I have a guinea pig UFC going down. A guinea pig UFC going down, Aaron. Have fun. Yeah, Bill Paxton passed away quite a bit ago, and it's really sad because he was an amazing actor. He was just an all-around great guy. Yeah, it sucks. It definitely sucks. Near Dark is considered an American neo-Western. Yeah, neo-Western. And the tagline is "Pray for Daylight." Now, this has quite a few really great really great one-liners from Bill Paxton himself, like "finger licking good." That is one. The Chester Bennington year 2017. Yeah. You need to, he was in Weird Science. He's in a lot of movies, Bill Paxton. And Club Dread is one of my favorites. He plays Coconut Pete in Club Dread. If you've never seen it, please go and see it. It's one of my favorite horror comedies. But yeah, check it out. All right. So in the heartland of America, a young farm boy's life takes a dark turn when he encounters a mysterious girl who leads him into a band of southern vampires. Traversing the highways in stolen cars. As part of his initiation, he embarks on a harrowing journey that includes a bloody assault on a rural bar. Yeah, he was Chet. Definitely. Hi, C-Sarv Jason. You need to plop on Twister. I love Twister. Twister's a good movie as well. Another Bill Paxton great. Me Too, Kratos. It's one of my favorites. Heavy actually enjoys it as well. Now, the budget for this film was $5 million and the box office was $3.4 million. And we'll get into here very soon as to why it bombed. This is the very first non-Gothic vampire film. Well, it's considered the very first non-Gothic vampire film, because a lot of the vampire films that come out are a Gothic romance. Bram Stoker's, just all of them, really all of them. I would have to say Vampires, the movie Vampires, is also more of a Western, but that came out later on after Near Dark came out. Yeah, they sound really good. I'm happy that your sounds sound great. We are going to get into the trailer for Near Dark. There we go. I know not everyone's going to be able to see it, but you'll be able to hear it. That is Near Dark. Bill Paxton is amazing in this, and it looks fine. Okay, perfect. I got a warning for YouTube on my video player saying, hey, can't play this. It's on YouTube too, so that's the funny thing. Hello, Speedy Misha. How are you? Good morning, Basement Cat. Please check out Near Dark. If you have not seen this underrated vampire Western, you need to see it. I'm gonna tell you, you need to see it. It is such a great film. It really is. Everything about it, it's great. It even gets away from the original vampire lore with a blood transfusion, which we're also going to talk about here in a little bit. It's a great movie. Lance is amazing in this movie as well, and how he gets prepared for it. How you doing, Speedy? Hi, Space. Definitely watch it. If you're in the United States, you can watch it on Tubi.tv. If you are not in the United States, you're able to find it on Up Movies. I know it's just a website, Up Movies, and we're going to be having an ad break on the Twitch side of things in about 55 seconds, and then we'll be able to scroll and get off topic here. But before we do that, like I said, this is considered one of the first non-Gothic vampire films, and it was filmed in just 47 days, with 40 of those days dedicated to night shoots, which is insane. 47 days for this film. You can't tell that it's a low budget film. They wanted a low budget film, but you honestly can't tell that it's a low budget film. Catherine Bigelow did an amazing job with everything, even with funding for this movie. It's great. That's a quality trailer. The trailer is great. That's the original trailer, official. I shouldn't say original. It's the official trailer that I was able to find over on YouTube. Hello, Blood and Popcorn. No apologies on being late. Same with you, Sebastian. You didn't miss anything. We just got started. If you ever come into Coffee Chat of Horrors and you notice the trailer is playing, we just got started. And if you do miss anything, no worries. You're able to check out the VOD on my YouTube channel, and it'll also have chapters so you can miss all the live shenanigans. There is going to be an ad popping up here on Twitch, unfortunately, so we'll get notified of that. I don't want to go too far and then get a friggin' ad. Anyways, despite its unique blend of horror, romance, and Western elements, Near Dark faced tough competition upon release, notably from the film Lost Boys, which premiered 2 months earlier. And Lost Boys was good. It did okay in the box office. It didn't like blow out of the box office like some other movies during that time. And there is our ad over on Twitch. YouTube is just being a little bitch again, is it? Well, they don't like when I play trailers. They don't like that. That's why specific things that I do on my YouTube gaming, I can't do anymore because they get very angry when you utilize different things that aren't technically your content. So watching a movie trailer, YouTube loses their shit on that. Even though the YouTube trailer is on their platform, opened and ready for everyone to see, you can't use it. It's not really a copyright strike or anything. They just say you can't be monetized, right? Thank goodness, knock on wood, I've never had a copyright strike over on YouTube. Watch the movie in black and white has a different feel. Oh, most likely it would have a different feel. I think a lot of movies have a different feel in black and white, Aaron. Hello, Freddie. How are you? We will be back after this brief commercial annoyance. I'm still working on that thing we were discussing, Deadwalk. 21 seconds and the ad will end over on Twitch, and I will welcome everybody back. This is what happened on YouTube. If I can't even on YouTube, Don is very touchy with copyright. I get copyright. I understand. Yeah, definitely. It took off in home. I did a CCOH on Lost Boys. Yeah. It did. It took, most movies in the late 80s took off in home theater. VHS. Near Dark was one of them, but still Near Dark got pushed down in the dark depths of the horror vampire realm. Like I said, it didn't make a lot of money at the box office. A lot of people never heard of the film because it did get buried. I know that some of the producers blame the fact that they came out around the same time as Lost Boys, which could have caused the problem. Look at the Monster Squad. The Monster Squad bombed as well at the movie theater. Yeah. But it did. It really took off. Same thing with the Monster Squad. Monster Squad took off at VHS. It bombed in the theater. It also had to compete with The Lost Boys. It definitely was blood and popcorn. Another thing about Near Dark is that there's still a lot of people to this day that have never heard of the movie. And it blows my mind that they haven't heard of the movie because it's a kick-ass friggin' film. Hi, Mike. How are you? If you guys have missed my Monster Squad deep dive, it's over on my YouTube channel. You can check it out. That one was a really great deep dive. We had a lot of information. I even think we went over on that one. I have seen Sebastian. Hi, happy Sunday, Stormy. How are you? VHS. Yeah, VHS is where everything was, where a lot of films that didn't make it big in the theaters in the late 80s and 90s made it huge in VHS, just because people were able to rent it, right? And it kind of sucks that some of these films didn't make it big because the cast that was behind Near Dark was amazing. We're going to get into the cast as well. I'm glad you're doing great, Stormy. Renting is amazing. That's how I got to see a ton of movies that I would not have ever seen. Cannibal Holocaust did not play in our movie theaters, right? It was banned. I would have never seen Cannibal Holocaust if it wasn't for VHS. Faces of Death, I would have never seen that either. Army of Darkness, I rented on VHS because of the cover art. There was no internet back then. We didn't have those kinds of things to see movies. All we had was people that did reviews in the paper, in the newspaper, where you're able to read about the review of the movie, which half the time they didn't like horror. So if it was a horror movie, they shit all upon it. I remember my parents having a laser disc player before VHS. Yeah, Betamax was also a thing. Lots of people more willing to take a risk of the unknown title for a weekend rental back in the day. 100%. Monster Squad was also always on the Super Channel. That it was. Yep. Transformers. Yeah, 1986. Newspaper reviews suck. Yeah, because they didn't like horror. The only one you could rely on was Joe Bob Briggs back in the day, and he was a columnist out of Texas, right? It was like have a record-sized CD that plays movies. Yeah, Laserdisc, yeah. Not me. There was no DVD until way later. Yeah, Kratos, same thing for me as well. Late night, UHF, yes. Did you guys know that this was Catherine's first solo directed film? Yeah, this is a woman-directed film. Directed by Catherine Bigelow. She drew her inspiration from her fascination with mythology of the American West, infusing the film with captivating visuals and storytelling. There were 2 scripts written, one by Eric Red called Undertow, and by Catherine Bigelow, Near Dark. Now, they did this on purpose because they wanted a Western vampire film. So they purposely set out to write 2 separate scripts and see which one was better, how it went. They realized that Westerns in the late 80s was not a big thing anymore, whereas early 80s and the 70s and the 60s, Westerns and even older Westerns were the bee's knees. And then slowly, Westerns kind of sort of fizzled out for a while. And when they noticed that, they realized that they had to do something other than. So they decided to take the Western romance horror is what they did. And I thought it was fabulous. There was a Super Channel that always played wicked movies at the middle of the night. Yes, there was Basement. And you have to take it out and flip it over halfway through a movie. The good old days, Space. The good old days. I rented Hellraiser 2 like 5 times because the VHS cover had a sense that I never saw in the movie, and I thought there was an extended copy out there. Hellraiser 2 is awesome film there, Acid Burn Mike. Creature features? I love creature features. People have Siskel and Ebert, since their deaths, they always shit on horror. There's very few horror that Siskel and Ebert actually gave props to. I don't like those 2. Never did. Even back in the day with their TV show. Makes me bad about my generation because I feel we were more spoiled by DVD and Blu-rays. Yeah, you guys were. I feel bad for the younger generations, even the younger generations after you 80s, after you millennials are there, because they get to miss out on all of the firsts. They'll never know what it's like to have anything that we had pre-DVD, pre-internet. A life pre-internet was fucking amazing. I know I'm going to scroll, so we're not going to go too far off in my scrolling. Now deep diving into the laser disc. I didn't know anyone who had one of these. Yeah. Most of the people that had the color televisions when I was younger and the fancy equipment were wealthy people. I was not one of them. You had a few VHS tapes yourself? Yeah. They jumped from VHS to DVD. The quality is definitely different, but I still love watching my VHS. I have VHS. My VCR does not work, but I've been looking for a new TV combo, VHS and TV combo, like a little 18-inch TV. But I love watching some of the older films on VHS. There's just something about it. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it. Betamax. Yeah, Aaron. Betamax. I remember Betamax. It's my life's best day because I found the movie I've always wanted to see. That's awesome, Sebastian. I have not seen that. I have not seen that movie you were talking about. Oh, the Blockbuster era. But even before Blockbuster was okay. They didn't have a great selection. They only gave you, like, mainstream. You wanted non-mainstream, you had to go to a mom and pop friggin' VHS shop. And that's where you found Faces of Death. Blockbuster Video did not have Faces of Death. Turned out that the scene was cut out in the movie of Pinhead and Female Cenobite in the Dr. Scrubs, but they put it on the cover of the VHS. Yes, Acid Burn. I've done a deep dive into Hellraiser as well. I've done a deep, I think the entire franchise. This is the Stream Police, ma'am. We've pulled you over for erratic swerving. I know. I'm so bad at going off topic. Yeah, that's funny. Blockbuster was only good for some games. Yeah, Bina, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon. The mom and pops had the uncensored versions that they did. Okay, let's get right back in. I'm reeling it in. Near Dark is celebrated for its fresh take on the vampire genre, incorporating practical effects and no CGI. The film's soundtrack is by Tangerine Dreams, adds its haunting atmosphere, enhancing the viewer's experience. I will tell you, if you haven't listened to the soundtrack of Near Dark, you should. Good morning, Maeve. How are you? Yeah, they were super expensive, and we lucked out because my dad got a secondhand one from a friend who worked at Best Buy. That's awesome, Dahi. That is awesome. Tangerine Dream. That it is. I worked at the oldest Blockbuster here in Collingwood. They actually had some hidden gems and some offbeat horror movies. Definitely. Ra, you're so off track. The Park Rangers sent out a search party. I know, I'm so bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. This is why CCOH goes a lot longer than normal, because I squirrel. But yes, the soundtrack is great. It's haunting. Definitely listen to it if you haven't listened to it. I haven't seen the Twilight Saga yet, but I'm not committing any sin. I have never seen it. I don't watch sparkly vampires. No, I have never seen it myself, Sebastian, so don't worry about it. You can still... Even if you like Twilight, then you like Twilight. That's all I'm going to say. If you like it, you like it. Right? All right, let's get back to that. This was filmed in numerous locations from Oklahoma to Los Angeles at approximately 21:13 of the movie when Caleb is stumbling through the town in Texas. In the background, there is a Warner Cinema playing Aliens from 1986, which I thought was pretty clever. And when I give you more information into this, you're going to understand why you've seen that nod to Aliens in the background. Yeah, you've seen it, Kratos. Hey, some people like Twilight. I don't judge, man. I don't judge. This is a judge-free area. Garolu, welcome to the crypt. Thank you for the follow. This is a judgment-free area on your horror. You keep your horror card regardless of what you like and what you dislike. Near Dark opens with a very clever shot of a young cowboy, Caleb Colton, played by Adrian Pastar, swatting a mosquito that landed on his skin before his beautiful co-host, May, Jenny Wright, standing innocently enough outside of a shop with her ice cream cone. And this is where you see Adrian, he actually does hit a mosquito from his face, and that mosquito was real, guys. That was a real mosquito. And he sees his beauty, his actress, she's beautiful. She's eating and licking an ice cream cone, and he instantly fell for her while he was watching her lick an ice cream cone, right? If you guys get a chance to watch the documentary Living in Darkness, I'm going to highly recommend it. You can find it on YouTube. I will post a link in the Discord as well as in the description once I'm done and the VOD is up, so you guys can watch it. It's about 44 minutes long. And Adrian talks about how he first sees Jenny in her character, licking an ice cream cone. I know Kratos was like, look at this perv when we watched it in Discord, because we did watch Near Dark in Discord every Thursday night between 6 and 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. We watch horror movies in the Discord, as well at Sundays between 1 and 2 in the afternoon Mountain Time. We watch horror movies with Darkbreaker. Everybody is welcome to join in and recommend movies to watch. You had such a crush on Jenny, right? She's a pretty woman, I should say. Gotta turn some filters on. I can't help it's triggering. Yeah, so far. Twink light is better. Yeah, that's your porn version, isn't it, Monkey? All right. The realization that they were going to film a real mosquito interacting with an actor meant they had to grow it from scratch. Yeah, you heard me right. Grow the mosquito from scratch. That mosquito that he's brushing away from his face is a live mosquito. They actually grew it from scratch. And the reason why they did that was so there was no contaminants that could help hurt the actors or actresses. This became a 6-month process. 6-month process to grow this mosquito. I thought that was pretty friggin' insane. Hello, Cups. Happy to catch a bit of horror chat. Awesome. We're happy to have you here. I thought that was pretty crazy that they grew a mosquito so it didn't have any contamination in it whatsoever. Yeah, I thought that was friggin' brilliant. Like, how do you not? It's like, yeah, crazy. Yeah, and he's supposed to be. He's a young boy who sees this beautiful female. She's a mixture of, her character is a mixture of like a mom figure, siren, sex symbol, all rolled into one. And yeah, you got to remember the time as well. 80s AIDS scare probably played a role in that. The 80s AIDS scare played a role in a lot of things, definitely. She definitely is. I guess it's worth to make sure that they didn't pass along any pathogens. Wow, 6 months. Well, you have to think about it. Mosquitoes suck blood. Back in the 80s, they really didn't still know a whole hell of a lot of the HIV or AIDS pandemic. They didn't know much about the virus to begin with in the 80s. So having an insect that sucked blood from different people could be contamination, right? And that was a huge thing in the 80s. So everyone was taking extra precautions when it came to any kind of blood transfer. Malaria and other bloodborne diseases mosquitoes are known to have. So I think it's really cool that they kept in mind that the safety of their actors, because anyone could have just gotten friggin' mosquitoes, right? 6-month process to grow one. Mosquitoes regurgitate at the start. Yes, they do. So you're literally getting the blood from somebody else. It's like a blood transfusion, all in all. It's kind of gross. And if you think about the blood transfusion in Near Dark as well, because Near Dark does have a blood transfusion. I'm just going to warn you guys right now. If you have not seen Near Dark, I am going to spoil the shit out of it. Okay, I'm just going to spoil the shit out of it. So definitely go and watch it and keep some of these facts in mind when you do. Now, this has some standout performances, includes Lance Henriksen, his portrayal of Jesse, and Bill Paxton, who portrays a very sadistic vampire. And I will tell you right now, I love Bill Paxton as a sadistic cowboy vampire, because that's exactly what he was, and he was sadistic. I thought this was his sexiest time in this movie, especially in the bar scene, which is my favorite scenes are in the bar itself. I can figure James Cameron instead saying, hey, you'll be fine, right? A bit more itching and burning. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like mosquito bites. So when Bill got this script for Near Dark, he loved it. He loved the script, and he contacted Lance and told Lance about the script. And Lance was like, I don't know. It's a vampire. And Bill's like, no, you got to read the script. Once Lance read the script, he was like, holy shit, this is great. And he took on the role of Jesse. And I thought that's great because he did an amazing job. And I have some information for you later on down the road that will tell you about Bill and Lance and everybody else in this film. Paxton is so terrifying. His bar scene is definitely terrifying. And yeah, Basement Cat, that bar scene is fucking awesome. You really can't lose with the cast for vampires. This cast was amazing. And if you guys didn't know, this is basically the same cast from Alien. Hence why Alien playing in the background. And did you know that Catherine Bigelow at the time was dating James Cameron? And James Cameron was the one who gave her the idea for using the cast of Alien because they had such great chemistry on set. So when you're watching, 3 of the characters that are in Near Dark are 3 of the main characters in James Cameron's Alien. Yeah, go check it out. Hello, Sailor. How are you? Lies. His sexiest role was totally the dad in Casper. No, I love my men bloody. He is goddamn gorgeous in that movie. And vampire, Bill Paxton. Definitely. Rod, did you mention who played Diamondback? We are going to get to that. I'm actually going to go and skip what I just told you guys, and we're going to go into that a little bit later. I just got ahead of myself. I always seem to get ahead of myself. No, you didn't recognize her. Most people didn't recognize her, and I'm going to dive a little deeper into that section in just a moment. The driver, so you remember Bill Paxton is hitchhiking as his character in this movie. And he's hitchhiking and there's a driver that gives him the middle finger, right? That driver is none other than James Cameron himself. James Cameron did have a short, tiny role in this movie. Yeah, you didn't know that, huh? Mm-hmm. Deep dive. Yeah, dive deep into sections. I always bypass and stuff as well. Bill Paxton ad-libbed both the theft of the sunglasses in the bar and the line, I hate it when they ain't been shaved. This is in the bar scene. So when they're in the bar, they're fighting. He gets his hairy guy. He also takes his sunglasses, and that's all ad-lib. That's all on him. This stuff wasn't in the script. And Catherine Bigelow encouraged the cast to create their own things in the film to give it more authenticity, which I thought was amazing. And I've got some stuff for you over for about Lance's part as well. He went all fucking out. Him and Bill Paxton went all out for this film, even in costume-wise. Hi, Violet. How are you? I missed the James Cameron cameo. When you watch it again, Bill Paxton will be hitchhiking, okay, as his character. And there'll be a guy in a car that drives by that gives him the finger. That's James Cameron. It's so quick you won't even notice. Most people don't even know James Cameron is even in this film. It's not really a big part, right? Now we're going to get into a part where it's talk about the aliens. So like I said earlier, there are 3 actors from Alien that appear in Near Dark. There would have been 4. Demonstrating, so James Cameron wanted her to, he was like, yeah, you know what? Use the cast from Alien because they have such great chemistry together. Bill Paxton and Lance. And we're going to get into a few of the other characters that played their roles in Alien. And he was like, their chemistry is really great. Her name is Jeanette, and she played a role in Alien as well. And you won't even notice her in this film because she's a chameleon in this film. She really is a chameleon in this film. And I'm going to point out who she is when I tell you guys. Yes. And did you know it was all 3 casts, right? All 3. It would have been 4th, but the 4th guy declined the role. So James Cameron's like, hey, Catherine, going to be her future husband. Remember this, future husband, James Cameron. He is like, why don't you contact Bill, contact Lance, contact Jeanette, and see if they want to, join this movie. And so she started off with Bill Paxton first, and then it went domino effect. Bill Paxton said he loved it, passed it on to Lance, and Lance was like, oh, hell yes, we're doing this. At first, he was a little leery. Remember that. Lance was leery on taking this role because it was a vampire film. He's awesome throughout the film. Yeah, Paxton is so terrifying. Nobody recognized her in T2 either. No, she's a chameleon, man. She is a chameleon. So Aliens came out in 1986, and like I said earlier in the film, earlier in Coffee Chat of Horrors, you can see that Aliens is playing in the theater behind Adrian. Now, Michael Biehn, who also played in Alien, was considered for a role, but he declined. So you would have had 4 Alien cast actors in this movie, but Michael declined. I believe so, Deadwalk. According to Lance Henriksen, he prepared for his role of Jesse by coming up with a background for his character and acting it out. The origin story he came up with was that Jesse was in a Confederate Navy when he became a vampire. Henriksen painted his hair black with tar, since that was an actual thing seamen did in the 1800s. He then added acrylic nails and broke them off to make his fingers look like this finger bone extension, like almost very similar to Nosferatu, how Nosferatu's hands, if you ever take a look at them, were really long, right? So when I tell you guys, Lance Henriksen went all out, he went all out. Tar in his hair, black tar in his hair, because that's what the Siemens did in the 1800s, which is insane. And then he had acrylic nails. So acrylic nails, if you've never had them on, they are literally like super glued onto your fingers. So they're not coming off. They're different than Lee press-on nails. These are literally a part of your body now because they get super glued to you. And then they're held down by acrylic on top of that. So he had that done purposely. And then he used pliers and broke the nails off so they become an extension of his hand to make his hand look more exaggerated and more like Nosferatu. Hello, Ace. How are you? How is your day going? Yeah, no worries, Violet. Have a good one. So, he went to town that night when he created this costume, and he managed to scare the waitress at Denny's and a hitchhiker twice his size he picked up on the side of the road. So he wanted to test his costume out, and he did. He went into town. He went to this small Denny's. He scared the shit out of the waitress, and then as he's driving, there's a hitchhiker on the road. Remember, this is the 80s, guys. Hitchhiking was a thing. And he picked up this hitchhiker. This hitchhiker was twice the size of Lance and scared the ever-living shit out of this guy. So Lance knew his costume was right on when he created this character, Jesse, which the character Jesse wasn't already written out on how he would look. So when he came up to Catherine and told Catherine Bigelow about his backstory for Jesse, she loved it. She was like, yes, let's go on with it. My mother used to be a manicurist. Acrylic are something. They are blood. They are acrylic. You ever wear acrylic nails and then accidentally like stub your nail? It feels like it's ripping off your entire effing nail. Yeah, it's horrendous. If you've never had acrylic nails, you just don't know. You just don't know. It sucks. Especially when you jam it into something or it gets stuck. Your nail feels like it's literally been ripped the fuck off. And now, Bill Paxton's character. Bill Paxton's character is very cowboy because he was also turned at a time where being a cowboy was an actual thing. And Jesse turns Bill because Bill Paxton's character, Severin, reminded him of his son. So when Jesse sees Bill Paxton character, he was like, oh, this reminds me of my son I once had. He turned him into a vampire. If you listen to the Living in Darkness documentary, they really go back in deep with Bill Paxton's character, but really with Lance Henriksen's character. He created this whole thing and it was friggin' awesome. I wish I could copy and show you guys this, or I would get in trouble on YouTube. Hello, Blood and Bruise. How are you? Good morning. Near dark, do vampires smell bad? Do they have bad breath or something? Yeah, hitchhiking Petro Bowl in the 80s. Yeah, I know. Everyone was doing it. Everybody was doing it. Now nobody hitchhikes. It's very rare you see hitchhikers. Here where I live, it's very rare. And I think it's against the law now. They make references to being post-Civil War gunfighters. They definitely do. They definitely do, Blood. And if you get to watch that documentary, Living in Darkness, Lance really goes into his backstory, how his guy died and how his chest was like open and he can see the air out of his chest going into the night. And it's really crazy story that Lance came up with. And I would have loved to seen Lance's story on his character, Jesse. I think that would have been an amazing prequel to Near Dark if they were ever to make another movie like Near Dark. Unfortunately, Bill Paxton will not be able to be in it. Bill Paxton loved Westerns and he loved being a cowboy. So when he found out that his character was going to be a cowboy, he read tons of Western books on being a cowboy. And so his vocabulary in this may seem strange to some because he uses quite a bit of old Western vocabulary that would not be seen in the 80s. I know there was a few points where in Discord when we were watching the movie, people were making fun of certain things. That is the lingo and the language of the Westerns back then, which I thought was a really cool touch. Why hitchhike when you invented Uber? Because hitchhiking is free and Uber costs money? Right? They always had buses, so you never actually had to hitchhike. But who can afford a bus pass? That's what most people's thinking. All right, guys, we have an ad over on the Twitch side of things, so we're gonna squirrel for a minute and 20 seconds. How is everybody's Sunday going? You're making him play Back for Blood? Oh, you're playing Back for Blood now. Hi, Ed. How are you? Flag down a vehicle may never be heard again. That's how you get murdered. That is how you get murderized, is hitchhiking. Why do you think so many serial killers got away with a lot of their stuff, especially on like the I-40, running around, hitchhiking, grabbing people, snatching them, murderizing them, doing horrific things to them? A remake keeps getting talked about in Hollywood development circles, so expect an announcement. Maybe, Blood, maybe. I don't want a remake. You can't remake it. There's lingo that they utilize in Near Dark that would not be appropriate now. You cannot. It's like remaking the Monster Squad. You cannot remake the Monster Squad. Then you're going to make it all PC and everything, and no one's going to be able to relate to anything because it's all fucking PC. What I would love is a prequel. Let's see what Jesse was like. Let's see how Jesse became a vampire. I agree. No on that 100%. Hitchhikers and hookers, the two people who usually aren't missed right away, so it makes sense. Yeah, it definitely does make sense. And unfortunately, sex workers are looked down upon as they're nothing. And that's why police, especially in the 70s and the 80s, really didn't do shit to protect sex workers. And it's really sad because, you know, they're people too. Welcome back from the Twitch ad. Not gonna lie, I kind of always wanted to hitchhike just once in my life. Yeah, it's quite scary. You don't think about it back then, though. I've hitchhiked. I've jumped into a car. People I didn't know. But it wasn't on my mind that I was going to be murderized. Really, it wasn't. It's not on your mind. Nowadays, you know it is because we have all these documentaries on true crime of all different kinds of friggin' violent SA offenders. You know what I mean? You would never have thought about that back in the day. Not at all. I've heard the theme song and soundtracks are catchy. So listen to the soundtrack of Near Dark. It's great. Definitely, it is great. Hi, Ouija. How are you? Ouija, have you heard of Near Dark? It's definitely a wild time back then. I grew up in the 80s. Totally different time. Totally different time. You could really live a really free life sort of say, compared to now. Now everybody is guarding everything you say, from every syllable to everything you do. Everybody is now like fucking watching like the goddamn conversation police. It's ridiculous. My wife hitchhiked across the country back in the day. I asked her if she would be okay if our daughter did it. No way. No, not now. Not blood and popcorn. Not that we know now. I mean, seriously, what we know now you'd have to be literally out of your mind to hitchhike today. Seriously. What we know now? Hell the fuck no. Hell the fuck no. There's tons of dangers that you don't think about. Even when you're younger, you're like, I'm invincible. I'm like 18, 20. I'm invincible. Nothing can happen to me. Nothing's gonna happen. And then boom, Ed Kemper cuts your head off. I don't know. Just things like that. Now that we know this, I would never allow my spawn ever to hitchhike. No effing way. Don't pick me up. I'm a shanker. Yeah. All right. So if you're just joining us here on Coffee Chat of Horrors, we are deep diving into Near Dark. If you have any questions about Near Dark from 1987, please feel free to ask in the chat. I will get to your questions. I do like to squirrel. And again, I apologize. You're not seeing the multi-chat here because Lumia is down. I haven't seen this whole movie yet. I would like to. So Tubi.tv, if you are in the United States, you can catch Near Dark. I would highly recommend it. It's a very underrated vampire film. It came out the same year as Lost Boys and The Monster Squad, and it kind of got pushed down in the marketing because Lost Boys, yeah. Just because Lost Boys. No, I'm not going to say just because Lost Boys, but there was a few other things, the reason why this did not make it the way they wanted it. However, it did find its cult following in VHS. All right, so during filming, the cast and crew had to deal with a train that would stop at the same intersection every night. Now, remember, I told you this was filmed in 47 days, and 40 of those days were at night. Yeah. 47 days, 40 of them were at night. So this train that kept stopping right in the intersection every night got really annoying because they had to actually cut and stop. One night, Bill Paxton in full makeup with half his face missing. As you know, in this film, spoiler alert, Bill Paxton's character gets hit right by a truck and half his face is missing. And it's pretty cool because it's what you see here in this picture right here. See that? So his face is falling off. He's all bloody. Think about this. You're in the middle of nowhere. There's a train that stopped. 40 days of night, actually. Yeah, right, Deadwalk? So think about this now. He's in full makeup. His face is falling off. He's bloody. And so he saw one of the train workers leave the diesel engine and went up to him saying, "Hey man, there's been an accident. And if you think I'm bad, wait till you see the other guy." The train guy was just like, WTF, what the hell is this? Could you imagine having someone like that come up to you, especially, coming from the diesel train, right? Both Lance and Bill Paxton went to town in full costume. And they scared the shit out of people. I thought that was pretty great in my eyes. I mean, seriously, that is something that you would tell your grandchildren or children later on, especially once you find out that there was a movie made, right? That would be some awesome story to tell people about. Hey, I was working one night on the train. It stopped. I had to get out and some guy came up to me and that's the guy in the movie. That would have been a really cool story. Bill Paxton is awesome. Yeah, he really was. May he rest in peace, man. I love that guy. Like I said, he was, to me, very sexiest in the bar scene. I just love that scene. And I loved how he was wearing his spurs and he kicks towards the bartender and just slices open his, fucking awesome. He got holes, his body, he might be shot. That's something actors wouldn't do anymore. No, but Bill Paxton is a comedy kind of guy. He's a funny kind of guy. The thing which sets Near Dark apart is its romanticism of vampires. Exactly. They actually remove a lot of the, like I said earlier, the gothic romantic parts of vampire films. Yeah, they did. Killing in order to live. There is no elegance about that lifestyle. There's nothing sexy about that lifestyle. Every one of these vampires in Near Dark are poor. They are poor. They're not the upper echelon of society. They have no money. And, you know, they don't make, this is one of the very first films that don't make vampires sexy. Lost Boys, there was a big sex appeal about being a vampire. There was something freeing and sexual about being a vampire in Lost Boys. And then we get to see all the other previous vampire films as well. They always had this sexy allure to it, this romance to it. Now, Near Dark does not have anything like that. Near Dark does have a romance in it. Thank you, Sailor. You have fun gaming. Near Dark has romance in it. It does, but not nearly at the level that you see in Interview with the Vampire or Bram Stoker's Vampire or in Lost Boys. Near Dark is the second family-oriented vampire film where the vampires in Near Dark are an actual family. Not going to say they all created each other. However, they are a family of close-knit vampires, and they're living life the way they have to. Now, here, the start where I tell you about, the non-traditional rules of vampirism. So at the start of the bungalow gunfight scene, a cross can be seen in the handle of Jesse's pistol, alluding to the idea that these vampires do not follow the same rules of traditional vampire mythology, which we already received from the Lost Boys, Crucifix, right? Crucifix, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Nosferatu, the tons of movies that give vampires the fact that they have a cross in front of them, they shy away from, right? In this film, they totally bypass all of the lore, except the only lore that they do keep is fire and sun. You'll notice all of the other lore is out the window, and they did that on purpose. They did not want a gothic romance vampire film. They wanted a Western romantic vampire film, and that's exactly what they did. The hunger revels in high-class vampires. There's a lot of high-class vampires, though, if you think about it. Interview with the Vampire, Bram Stoker's. There's tons of upper echelon vampire films, and they're all gothic romance, gothic horror, right? We're being rated, so we're going to take a moment right here. Welcome in our raiders over on the Twitch side of things. Donnie, welcome. Thank you so very much for bringing your community over. And I caught that right before I'm going to start my video, my reading again. 30 Days of Night is my most favorite vampire film of all time, because that is what a vampire is. You are food. You are nothing more than food. And I love that. You heard your name? Welcome back from the shadows. I am good, Donnie. I am good. How are you? How was your stream and what did you do? I have some good friggin' coffee, I tell you what. Now, if you're just joining us, guys, this is Coffee Chat of Horrors, deep dive into Near Dark from 1987. If you have not seen Near Dark, I'm going to highly recommend it. It is a very, very good vampire film. It is not like other vampire films either. This is a very unique vampire film. And actually, later on, there's a movie called Vampires that basically gets inspired by Near Dark. You haven't played it in a while. I just got back into it. Some Dead by Daylight. Right on, Donnie. Right on. I have a signed 30 Days of Night comic book somewhere. I fucking love 30 Days of Night because that is what a vampire is to me. A vampire isn't going to have sex with you. They're not going to romance you. They're not going to fall in love with you. They see you as food. And I love that because they are a predator. You are walking meat to them. You're walking blood packs to them, just like cows and pigs and everything else is to us. That's what you are to vampires. I made a mocha pot Italian espresso. That sounds delicious. I'm not that fancy. I've got McDonald's Americano up in this bitch. I love McDonald's Americano, not their regular shit. And I'm very jealous, Kratos. Very jealous. For my last game, I had a nice ghosty. Nice, Donnie. You gotta love Ghostface, man. Food is definitely delicious, and yeah, that you are a walking dinner plate for them. God damn, it's already 12 o'clock. I just have creamer and sugar. Have to get more coffee. Mine is black. I love black coffee. Love it, love it, love it. It's so delicious. And I love espressos. But your coffee blood sounds great. Blood and popcorn. Taco Bell. PD's is a wonderful coffee. Okay. Just make sure not to drink their iced coffee. McDicks don't clean their. Yeah, I'm sure they don't clean their machines properly. I don't ever really have coffee out. I buy the McDonald's espresso pods for my Keurig. I usually don't go and buy coffee out. I am squirreling. Now I watched an existential drama of vegan that turns into a vampire. That's very interesting. That is interesting. Okay, Homer. Here's some behind the scenes stuff. Homer is the young vampire who I think in its own right is a curse on top of being a vampire. But we're going to get into a sequence here, again, spoiler alert, that goes to tell you how they did some of the smoke and flames. So the sequence where Homer chases after a very young Sarah, which is Adrian's sister, in the daylight was filmed amid strong winds that made the smoking apparatus essentially inoperative. How they created this smoking vampire, and it's really genius way of doing it too. They had a couple of tubes and hoses underneath the prosthetics. And in these prosthetics, they use cigars. And so the smoke that you see, there's going to be a scene where Adrian is going for the van because the vampires are stuck in a hotel room and they can't get out, and the cops and everything, right? So he throws a blanket over himself and tries to run to the van, and he's smoking, lots of smoke coming off of him. And that was created by using a couple of prosthetics, 2, some hoses underneath, and 3, a fucking cigar. Tons of cigars. And in the Living in Darkness documentary, Adrian actually speaks about smelling like a cigar for days because that is the smoke that they would pump. It was this little pump thing that would drag the smoke from the cigar, and it would start to puff out. That was their way, because there was no other, CGI back then to add that in after the fact or whatever. So they use a lot of practical effects in this film and prosthetics. And again, when you see Homer at the end running towards Sarah, because she's another child, he wanted to turn her so he wasn't so lonely, into a vampire. He's smoking, and then he goes up into some flames, right? Now, Homer, I feel really bad for this vampire. Really bad for this vampire, because he is a child stuck, a man stuck in a child's body. He's lived decades and decades, and he's stuck in a young boy's body. That has to be one of the worst curses on top of the vampire curse you can have, is being a child forever. Nobody ever taking you seriously. No one ever wanting to be involved with you or being a part of you because you are a child. It would make life, I think, a hell of a lot harder as a vampire on top of that. So I felt really bad for Homer in Near Dark, because you can see how lonely he is. He gets super excited when he sees Sarah, who is Adrian's little sister, and you can see how he gets so excited and brings her back, and he wants to turn her, but Jeanette is like, Homer, look at me. That's Diamondback. So Jeanette is her character is Diamondback, and she tells him, no, nay, let's not do this, Homer. And it's so sad. In John Carpenter's Vampires, movie vampires are not romantic. No, they're not. They smell bad and they have really shitty breath. I love the movie Vampires. Yes, I thought it was a great film, and it was had to be inspired by the Western part of Near Dark. Yeah, that's why vampires historically have been written as bleeding kids dry so they don't convert. Yeah. Interview with the Vampire, right? And she's stuck that way for the rest of her life. That sucks. Awesome. Thank you, Kratos. Yeah, and being around only adults, it would have to be so friggin' lonely. But yeah, I would think it would be super lonely as a child vampire. I mean, there would only be so much you can do, right? Special effects makeup artist Gordon Smith devised a prosthetic makeup which concealed tubes on the face of the actors. These tubes were also hidden under the clothes of the performer and were connected to a device that smoked tobacco under pressure, carried on a harness. So each actor had a valve to shut off the system if they got sick or nauseous. So you have to think about all of that cigar smoke that's coming up in their faces because the prosthetics were right here, right? And then there was a couple in the chest area. So anywhere that you see smoke coming off of one of the actors in this film as a vampire, this is the prosthetic that was used on them. And it's quite cool to see how they created that out of a harness, some pressure, some tubes, and a cigar. Hey, Reegs, how are you? Right? How are you doing on this fine Sunday? Bill Paxton had to sit for makeup about 3 hours of makeup every night due to the whole, wrecked makeup effect from the truck. So every night for 3 hours, he sat in makeup, and that effect came out really, really good. Now, there's a scene where he gets hit by the truck, right? So you get to see his face fall off. They had to build an actual, undercarriage underneath the truck for the stuntman. Extremely pissed off at my coworkers. Oh no, Reegs, why? Let's give you some juju in the chat. Hopefully it gets a bit better for you. All right, so like I said, they had to build an undercarriage underneath the truck that the stuntman could hold on to while he was being dragged. Catherine Bigelow said on the previously mentioned, the Living in Darkness, that they had to have a platform in front that the actor could stand on and create an obviously a rigged set that he could put his hands in for the engine parts. So think about it this way. You've got this undercarriage, this other stage underneath the undercarriage of the truck, so that when he gets hit, he grabs onto this and holds onto it. And they have to create it because you do get to see the whole drag scene. So you do get to see the whole thing. So I thought that was pretty brilliant. And when I watched it again on Thursday night, it was quite interesting to see. I thought it was quite interesting to see the whole thing, actually. Hold on. There we go. Plus what was said, my coworker thinks he is a manager. Well, that sucks because they repeat what was already said over the intercom and I'm only one damn person. That does suck, Reegs. I hope you have a better day. I hate those freaking people. Power tripping people, man. They suck ass. The bar scene was filmed near Magic Mountain at the Newell Ranch, and they built the bar from scratch knowing they intended to destroy it. It's the film's most complicated scene and took the longest to shoot. This is my favorite scene, to be honest with you, is the bar scene. There's a lot of action, a lot of one-liners from Bill Paxton himself, a lot of ad-libbing from all of the actors. The guy behind the bar is getting himself ready for the scene, and he's doing his own thing, from what he's saying. This is right before Bill Paxton does an air kick and basically cuts him right here. It's a great scene. Game over, man. It's game over. Yeah, Bill Paxton, an alien. In this rock out in this movie, you get to see three of the four actors in Alien in this film. Okay, so remember how I was telling you, Stylish Prince, how are you? I just seen you sneaking on in there. Welcome, Agitail. I think that's how you say your name. I'm still need to snag a Blu-ray of this one day. Make sure you get the 2002 release Blu-ray or DVD of this, because that's the only one that comes with the Living in Darkness documentary or featurette, or really whatever the hell you want to call it. The 2002 DVD Blu-ray is the only one that comes with that. Chatter on the intercom, right? I had to admit it's getting pissed off because he knows what he's doing back in the... Okay. It is always good seeing you, Stylish. I hope you're doing good. Welcome in. We are discussing Near Dark. So that's what we're deep diving in right now from 1987. If you haven't seen it, please go and see it. Please go and see it. If you're in the United States, you can definitely get it on Tubi.tv. Definitely Catterday. You might be able to find it on eBay. Okay. So the guns in the film are all shooting blanks, but prior to filming, Catherine Bigelow brought the cast to gun ranges to let them experience the weapons with live ammo and to grow more comfortable with the feeling and kickback. Adrian, when he was shot and the squids, the blood pack that explodes in the bar, he literally lost his breath in that scene as he was taken off guard. It was his first time getting shot with squids. So this is his first time getting shot with squids. Squids are blood packs that go underneath your clothing, basically. And so when someone fires a fake gun, this blood pack sets to explode, right? It's going to explode. It's going to have blood come out everywhere, but they still have an impact. It's not just it gets hit and then it explodes kind of deal. Acid Burn Mike, welcome to the crypt. Thank you so much for the follow. I got to go and start cleaning the house. Have a great day, Acid. Thank you for popping in and giving us some chit chatter here. I hope you're having a great day. Hi, Lycan. How are you? If you're just joining us, we are discussing our deep dive into Near Dark. Now, like I was saying, Adrian, he's in the bar. The bartender shoots him with a shotgun. These squid packs go off. Now, if you don't know how a squid pack works, they are taped to the body. And you honestly cannot be standing with your back up against the wall because you will break your ribs. Once the shot goes, these blood packs have an impact on your body and they explode. So it does kind of feel like you're being hit with a bullet, but not at that extreme level. However, if your back is against the wall, you can blow out your ribs. When Adrian got hit, this was his first time using squids before. He had no idea. They just told him that when it goes off, grab yourself, like So that scene that happens and you see that he's out of breath and he's like, oh, like that. He was caught off guard. When they went off, he should have expected it, but he didn't expect it. And he was really out of breath and holding himself. He could not breathe because one of the things they told him is do not inhale when you are getting shot. So don't inhale. Make sure you exhale, because if you inhale again, you will get injured because there is a kickback to squids, right? I thought that was a really cool piece of information. I learned that again from the Blu-ray. From Living in Darkness. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Has anyone ever gotten internal bleeding? Probably, Custos, if they're not done properly. There's a lot of training that goes involved with things like that, and where your body moves, right? They definitely told him not to, what the hell is going on here? That's weird. They told him, they gave him a few things. They told him, one, don't stand up against the wall. You got to make sure your body is able to go like that, right? They also told him not to inhale. So when the scene happens and he gets shot, not to inhale, just to, exhale or be ready to, go in. No, Lumia is not working. Lumia is down for some reason. If only Claudia lived long enough to meet Homer. Homer was cool. It should be on now. Yeah, that's weird. I just got a weird error message. Just caught me off guard. Okay, so Severin Bill Paxton's character, had his very first B12 shot when they did the bar scene. And what happened was Bill Paxton was out. They were doing things. They're having a good time. The next day, he had to shoot this scene, and he did not feel well. He was tired. He just wasn't in 100%. So Catherine Bigelow is like, all right, let's give you a B12 shot. Now, if you've ever had a B12 shot, it's basically a shot of friggin' liquid energy that goes into your system. And if you've had a B12 shot, then you kind of understand I don't want to say it's like adrenaline. You'll understand the rush. It's a different feeling. You just boom, you're awake. It's not like caffeine rush. It's a very different thing. So Bill Paxton had his first B12 shot, and that's why his scene in the bar is so wild, because he is literally filled with friggin' energy. And B12 as in the vitamin, yes, as in the vitamin. So yeah, gives his first B12 shot. He is all up. He's all over the place. He's doing these things. He ad-libbed, like I said earlier, the sunglass scene, and the whole point of the guy being hairy. He's like, I don't like it when they ain't shaved. And he's talking about the hairy guy that he has to now bite his neck and drink his blood, right? B12 shots are awesome. Yeah, no, this was a shot, Ed. This is a shot, so it had to act right away. Yeah, it was insane. Have you seen Near Dark Lichen? I'm gonna fill me up some more coffee here. Oh my God, we are gonna go over a little bit in CCOH. I do hope you guys don't mind that, because I get fucking derailed all the time. Yeah, shave your shit so it's eating like it isn't like having a hairball. Yeah, exactly, Kratos. All right. Now, here's a really cool behind the scene thing that I thought was awesome. And I did not know about this again until I watched the documentary. I think maybe when I was younger, because I recognized the image somewhat. The image is all over the place for sure. Near Dark. I'm going to tell you to check it out. If you're in the United States, you're able to check this movie out on Tubi.tv. I derail like a train. I know. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, so this movie was shot in, oh, wait, we've got an ad over on Twitch, so we're not going to go into any information because Twitch side will miss out, right? And we don't want that. We've got an ad break. And the only way to dismiss ads over on Twitch is to be a subscriber. And so I don't force anybody to be a subscriber. Over on Twitch. A subscriber is different than YouTube. YouTube subscriber is just a follow. Over on Twitch, it's a paid subscription. And that's the only other way is by paid subscriptions, whether that is a Nitro or whatever the hell Twitch has, where you don't have to subscribe to the person. You pay $10 a month, it gets rid of your ads. Or you subscribe to that streamer and you then don't get ads on that streamer's content. Whereas YouTube, you are able to watch my stream, my live stream, without any type of ads. That is a perk of watching over on YouTube. However, when it's a VOD, I do turn my ads on. So it's a perk of watching live compared to watching the VOD. At least we're learning about garden stuff right now. Oh, very cool. As for Romans used to say, abundance is better than scarcity. Very true. And we have 11 seconds and then you guys are back. Oh, you know what I should do? We still have some gifting over on the YouTube side of things. So YouTube does a really amazing thing. It gives me 10 gifted memberships that I can hand out to people during the month. So I'm going to do that right now. If you're, hello, Grave, how are you? First time checking in. Perfect. Welcome. This is Coffee Chat of Horrors. I do this horror web show every Sunday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or 1 p.m. Eastern. I deep dive into our favorite scary movies, and it's a live horror discussion. If you've missed any of my CCOH, you are more than welcome to check out the VOD. It'll have chapters because since we are live, there's some shenanigans that happen here. I get derailed. We have other conversations, yada, yada. So if you like the chapters, you can go and just click the area that you want to actually discuss. We are going to go over to YouTube right now and hand out 5 memberships to my members side of things, so you guys can get a sneak peek of what I do for my members over on YouTube. You do have to have them turned on, though, over on YouTube. Unlike Twitch, where you can gift out subs, you don't have to have anything turned on. Over on YouTube side of things, you have to have things turned on. And if you don't turn them on right away, it holds that sub for you until you turn it on. So hopefully you guys over on YouTube get a nice little splash of membership, and you can check out some of the behind the scenes stuff that I do on my YouTube channel. You guys, I have a documentary, I have a series, a serial killer series on there that gets put out on Mondays. Have a great rest of your day, Reegs. Hope your day gets better for you over at where you're working right now. Sorry, I had to turn my little heater off because I'm starting to get super fucking hot. I think it's all this hot coffee. All right, so welcome back from that ad over on Twitch. And so they shot this movie in the winter, and you were able to see the breath of the actors. And back then, CGI to remove these kind of things just was non-existent. So they were like, how can we beat having the air come out? You know, because in the wintertime, when it's cold, your hot breath out in the cold air, you see it, right? Like a steam, you see that. And so they're thinking, how do we get around this? How do we do this so the actors, you don't see their breath? Plus, they're vampires, right? I'll tell you how they do this. Ice cubes. Ice cubes. Yes. If you have not, please hit that like button. Thank you very much, Grave Reviews. I really appreciate that. Definitely, if you're on the YouTube side of things, make sure you hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit that subscription button there as well so you can follow and turn on your notifications so you get to know when I go live or I upload another video over on YouTube. That is my quick YouTube spiel. But anyways, they used ice cubes, guys. They put ice cubes in the actors' mouths to make their whole mouth cold so that when they actually spoke, it was on par with the temperature outside. So they had to pretend that they were warm, right? They had to be walking around in their costume, and they had these ice cubes in their mouth to keep everything cool so that when they spoke, you never noticed the hot breath in the cold air. I thought that was pretty fucking ingenious, right, Dahi? I thought that was pretty ingenious. I'm like, what? Who would have thought of ice cubes in the mouth to cool everything down so that when they spoke, there was no like moisture, none of that came out. That was pretty fucking cool. Thank you so much, Razor Fangs, for subscribing over on YouTube. I greatly appreciate it. CGI, eat your heart out. There are ways around it, and that is what's so cool. Little touches like that really make a movie. They really do. And the cigars underneath, the apparatus that they wore underneath their clothing and everything was cigars. That smoke was cigars, right? Fun factor, so cool. Yes, Grave, they are. I do all of these on Sundays here. I love deep diving. It's one of my great, it's a hobby that I do. And I turn that hobby into a live stream. Oh, by the way, guys, on my YouTube channel, there's a Q&A. So earlier in the week, I went on my Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube and asked people, what would they like to know about me? I'm going to do a Q&A, and a whole bunch of people responded with a whole bunch of great questions. Some questions, well, others were pretty freaking awesome. And I did that video for you guys yesterday. So it is up on my YouTube channel if you want to get to know more about me. Kakashi, I sees you. How are you? How is your Sunday going? And if you are just joining us, this is Coffee Chat of Horrors deep dive into Near Dark from 1987. And I will have to give a shout out for Reaper 1923. He helps create these awesome little images that you see here. That helps me give you guys a little bit of background and imagery for CCOH. Yes. Oh, yesterday, if you did put a question on there after the fact, I will make another video answering your question. So you guys can go and check it out on my YouTube channel. Okay, Now that we know the ingenious idea of ice cubes, when Severin and Jesse torched the motorhome, Severin asked Jesse if he had remembered about the fire that they had started in Chicago. Now, in 1871, this is real history in Chicago. In 1871, there was the Great Chicago Fire. Right? So when they're torching the motorhome, Severin's talking to Jesse and says, hey, you remember that fire we started in Chicago? It is assumed that they mean the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 that left more than 100,000 people homeless and destroyed businesses. Though the legend attributes the fire to a cow who kicked a lantern, the cause of the fire still remains a mystery to this day, but that actually happened in Chicago's history. Look at that knowledge being dropped upon you, hey? That's why it's fun to research pre-CGI movies. Oh, for sure, Custos. I do that as a hobby anyway. I've always researched movies, whether it was at the library or reading some of my books. And now that we have the internet, it's so much easier. However, I do not rely always on the internet because people like to lie and embellish. So it's always best when you do your research, like I do my research, I don't just use the internet. I actually watch interviews. If the DVD has a commentary, director's commentary, featurette, I buy it just so I can watch it, so I can give you guys better information that you won't find on the internet. The Coffee Chat of Horrors I did last weekend on the Monster Squad, I watched 2 documentaries to get that information. And that information is not on IMDb or other fun fact sites, because people that do what I do do a lot of recorded videos on YouTube and websites, but they pull from IMDb. And the pull from IMDb is really anyone who contributes to that IMDb page. And so some of that shit can be a lie or exaggerated. So it's always best to do your research on actual stuff. So interviews with the actors or the director. If you have Fangoria magazine, I always go back in my magazines and read stuff. I always look at the documentaries and the director's commentaries, all of that to bring you guys this research. So you don't have to do it. And I love doing that. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I've always done it even before CCOH. I just figured, fuck it, why not bring it to the masses, right? I love that they tied true historical events in our character. Yes, right, Grave? It's pretty cool. Fangoria is definitely a good magazine source. Yeah, I don't subscribe to them anymore because it's just too friggin' expensive. But when I was a kid, I would run down to our local 7-Eleven or gas station and buy my Fangoria magazine, which was only like $3 at the time. I had a paper route at the age of 12, and I was able to fold up, roll it up and put it in my back pocket and walk around with my Fangoria magazine. Now, they're a very beautifully done magazine. It's just not the same as it was before, and they're very expensive. So someone who's young is not affording a $22, well, in my country, $22 magazine. And yeah, you definitely ain't folding that bitch and putting it into your back pocket, like rolling it up and put it into your back pocket. I take that back, Ra, teaching us ways to torture people. I love torture. It's so great. Okay, let's get back to the film. So both Johnny Depp and DB Sweeney both auditioned for the role of Caleb, which was played by Adrian. They did not get that role, believe it or not, and I'm kind of happy they did not get that role. I think Adrian really portrayed it very well. And Adrian was on the fence with this film because he's never done a vampire film before or a film of this stature. So I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, Petro Bowl, $22 fucking dollars. It's $120 for 4 magazines. Oh, more than that. Canadian. Sorry, I'm in Canada, so not American, guys. So if you're sitting there saying, oh, this bitch is lying, it's in Canadian funds, not American funds. I'm in Alberta, Canada, so our shit's always double. So if you're paying like $80 for a subscription, I am paying basically $160. Now, in this film, you'll know that the word vampire is never used once at all in this film. And if you don't believe me, rewatch it. Now, despite initial underperformances, Near Dark endures as a cult classic, revered for its unconventional portrayal of vampire mythology and its exploration of themes like love and loyalty. which this film has a lot of. It has a lot of love and it has a lot of loyalty. As you can see, the character that Jenny Wright plays, she has a loyalty to her vampire family, but she does fall in love with, a young man who then she turns, right? There is a blood transfusion scene that caused some chaos and craziness. When we were watching it on Thursday night, Kratos asked, what the fuck is up with that blood transfusion thing? Now, treating this like a virus, the father of Adrian's character is a vet, an animal vet, mainly for farms and horses and pigs, and so he still has that science background. They are treating this like a blood illness, hence the mosquito in the beginning of the film. Okay? Mosquito, they bite you, they take your blood. They bite somebody else, a little bit of that other person's blood gets injected into your skin, and then they suck your blood, right? And then they go to the next person. Mosquitoes are like vampires. They need your blood to survive. And so that blood transfusion is playing as a blood-borne illness. So the father hooks up, spoiler alert, the father hooks up a blood transfusion to his son and pumps out the toxic blood out of his body and brings in fresh blood. So they treated it like it was a blood-borne illness, which all in all it is. He does drink the blood of people. He does drink the blood from his vampire maker. However, remember, traditional vampire lore is taken out of this movie altogether. The only thing that is traditional vampire lore is one, the sunlight and fire. You don't see the stakes to the heart. You don't see the crosses, garlic, all of that jazz that you normally see in a vampire film, Bram Stoker's Dracula. In 30 Days of Night, you see the sun, right? There's a whole bunch in other horror vampire films that you see that stick with traditional lore. This one, it's out the window. Horror Hose Horde, I need to go over here now. Please enjoy the rest of Ra's stream and your day. Ra, thank you very much for all of your hard work. I enjoy your content today. Thank you so much, Basement Cat. You have an amazing day. They brought back something called Famous Monsters. Yes, I had Famous Monsters, which was an old horror magazine. I actually have some still. And now is owned by Corey Taylor himself. Yes, it is. He's bringing back a classic, so that's wild. We are seeing magazines like Fangoria, Rue Morgue. Yeah, Rue Morgue was started in 2005, and it's Canadian-made LK, in which they were inspired by Fangoria magazine. And Fangoria magazine was inspired by the sci-fi magazine that was going on before Fangoria came out. So it's really cool to see how it evolves and how it's going. And to tell you about Corey Taylor, he does the documentaries In Search of Darkness. Right? All right, let's get to the conclusion of Near Dark, guys. Near Dark remains a haunting journey into the shadows, captivating audiences with its blend of horror, romance, and Western aesthetics. As the film continues to enthrall viewers, its legacy as an underrated gem of the vampire genre only grows stronger in time. And it does. I hope you guys enjoyed this coffee chat of horrors. I hope I educated you a little bit on one of my favorite vampire films, Near Dark from 1987. And I hope I inspired you to go and see a movie that you've never seen before. I think movies are very important. I think the cinematic presence is very important, whether you just watch horror movies or you watch all sorts of movies or you like a certain type of genre. I think the movies are very important, and I think they give us a storyline that we no longer have. You know, back in the day before movies, it was word of mouth and story tales, right? Folklore. Your folklore is now your movie theaters. We still have folklore, but it's not the same. We have it. It's called the cinema. And I think the movies and cinema plays a really, really huge, important role in our evolution of humans and telling our story. Some of these obviously are not real, true events, but they do show a sign of the times. And I think it's very important for each of us to be a part of that cinematic adventure, whether you watch horror movies or not. So I do hope I have inspired you to see more movies, step out of the blockbuster hits and go into something a little more unconventional, a little underrated, because these underrated gems that go underneath the radar are really amazing and bring something more than just a horror movie to your fingertips and viewing pleasure. So I do hope you guys enjoyed my coffee chat of horrors. Or to rewatch it if you haven't seen it in a bit. Definitely rewatch it if you haven't seen it in a bit. Oh yes, I'll have lots to look for when I watch it. Gonna give it a chance during Puppy Nap number 2 later today. Awesome. I'll need to watch Near Dark again, but I noticed there's different covers for Near Dark. Did it go through remakes over the years? No, just different artwork and international releases. Really, that's what it is. CCOH is always a great time. Thank you for sharing with us. Of course. Thank you so much for being here. And Grave Reviews, this is one of your personal favorites. Nice. I love Near Dark. So Near Dark, I have a bunch of vampire films, but number 1 is 30 Days of Night. 30 Days of Night is my numero uno. And I love that film. Everything about it. Near Dark is in there as well because it just brings a different type of feel to the vampire genre. There's no romance. I mean, there's romance in this one, but not like on the level of most vampire films that you see, right? I didn't even see the Near Dark from Tubi.tv. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed this episode of Coffee Chat of Horrors. I'm glad you did. I'm glad. We have been deep diving a lot into 80s horror, just because it's a fun era, and that is like I say it's the golden age of horror. Even though really the golden age of horror started way, 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 way back in the day. But for my generation, from the 80s, to me, the 80s is where it's at, is the golden age. There are some really amazing films that started the horror genre off. And a quick tidbit of information for you, that horror did not start in North America or in the UK. It actually started in France and Japan in like the 1800s, which is pretty crazy to know. There's a lot of horror out there. Thank you for being here, Deadwalk. I appreciate it. Seriously. Thank you, Blood and Popcorn. I appreciate that as well. Our next Coffee Chat of Horrors is next Sunday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And we're going to do a double, maybe even a triple feature. However, we are going to be discussing one of my favorite Frank and Henenlotter films. Frank Henenlotter, you heard that right. If you don't know who he is, please go to Google. We are going to go deep diving into Frank Henenlotter's Frankenhooker and Basket Case. We may even sprinkle some brain damage on that for you as well. One of my favorites is Frankenhooker. I love Frank Henenlotter films. He is awesome, low budget, practical effects galore. Definitely different type of horror than what you guys are primarily used to. If you've never seen a Frank Henenlotter film, please do yourself a favor and go and watch Frankenhooker. Then check out, I'm going to tell you, Basket Case. Basket Case. That's something. That is something, all right. Belial, that is something. Japanese horror was just straight up extreme for sure. They had old 80s films that looked like a lot of the times, LK, Asian horror, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, they utilize their folklore and their ghost stories in their horror movies. And I have done quite a few deep dives on Japanese and Chinese horror because I fucking love their horror. Check out my YouTube channel. We will be doing international horror deep dives as well. That'll be for season 7 of Coffee Chat of Horrors. That's going to be coming back to you in October. Coffee Chat of Horrors is a seasonal show because of the summertime. I ride a motorcycle, and I live in Alberta where we get winter for 8 months out of the year. And in the summertime, I love to go and ride my motorcycle. Me and Heavy go out on trips and all sorts of stuff. Exactly, Petrable. Want a date? Your daughter loves Frankenhooker? That's awesome. It is Grave Reviews. It really is. I love it. You got to see the sequels? Gothic, definitely. Tubi.tv. Frankenhooker has been on my list for a while. I fucking love it. This Thursday in the Discord, we will be watching Frankenhooker. If you have not seen Frankenhooker and want to check it out, we will be in the Discord around 6 p.m. Mountain Time, which I believe is 9 p.m. or is it 8 p.m.? 8 p.m. Eastern in the Discord. If you want to join my Discord, exclamation point Discord in the chat, you can pop it up. We have a huge horror community in there and gaming community that just love to have fun. We will be watching that this Thursday night, Frankenhooker. Yeah, I'm a seasonal horror podcaster too. Yeah, I'm seasonal just because, we have such a short summer. I do have to, exactly, Dahi, I do have to enjoy the little slice of my summer that I do get. Rides are heavy into her motorcycle. Exactly. My other ride has a mustache and a beard. But anyways, we will be ending CCOH on June 2nd. And it's going to go into hiatus up until about October. I will let you guys know when our last one is, and I will let you know what our next season will have in store for you guys, because I have a whole bunch of international horror that we are working on currently, so you guys can have a little taste of outside of North America horror. So let's get into our credits here. Thank you guys so very much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you and your time, whether you watched me on TikTok or you watched me here on YouTube or you watched me over on Twitch. You can catch Coffee Chat of Horrors every Sunday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. And you can catch the VOD over on my YouTube channel, where we will have chapters so you can miss out on all the live shenanigans if you want to. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and your time. Thank you for your love, your resubs, your follows, your subscriptions, everything that you guys do. Thank you so very much. And if you want to check out my live gaming, I do that on Mondays, Wednesdays, at 6 p.m. Mountain Time over on Twitch. And I do upload my gameplay to my gaming YouTube channel, Scream Queen Games, if you want to check that out over there as well. And on Fridays at about 1 p.m. Mountain Time, we do some more horror gaming. Yeah. I do want to say thank you to my mod Deadwalk. You are fucking fabulous and help me on everything on every level. So thank you for being here consistently every day, in and out, no matter what's going on. I appreciate you and I appreciate your hard work. Deadwalk, double duty. Deadwalk's on YouTube and on Twitch. So no matter where I stream, there is Deadwalk. Supermod. If Deadwalk had a flying cape, it would say Supermod on it. Really, I appreciate you. I 110%. Thank you very, very much. Definitely Kratos. In my world, MVP, 110%. But thank you to each and every one of you for everything that you do. If you're over on YouTube, make sure you like this video, share it, comment. Your likes and comments help my content go further on the YouTube, because you have to feed the algorithm with chit chat, likes, and comments. Have an amazing, amazing rest of your weekend, guys. I will see you all Monday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time over on twitch.tv/ReAnimateHer. Thank you, guys. I will slash you all later. Bye.